It's a bull.
Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
Good morning. Hey, what's up? This is Brian Kuzma with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in, well, pretty stormy Lauderdale by the Sea. Looks like someone's having a good time out there on his kiteboard there. Stormy weather, stormy oceans, and stormy environment in the economic scene going out there. I don't think it's going to get any better here soon either, folks. And in fact, as I said, I think the economic shitstorm is starting in 10, 9, 8, 7. Not sure if we're at 5, not sure if we're at 10, we're not sure if we're at 3 right now, but the countdown has begun, and it begun a little while ago. Where we're at on this countdown, I am not sure, but it seems like it's getting pretty damn close. Markets kind of got hammered a little bit overnight. Not that you or I would be able to buy or trade on that, but man, rocketed up when New York's opened up here. And take a look at this. We're actually up quite a bit higher. Silver got trashed this morning, true. Look at the lows last night, 1853. This was, I think, in the London markets as well. But again, definitely overnight markets where you saw this trashing. Look at silver, 27.41. That was down from, man, the high was 28.25 overnight and 27.41. Quite a range. Silver's back to making those kind of crazy 50-cent dollar moves, it looks like. But no less, we're back up to above 28. I was a little concerned this morning, but it looks like, again, markets got hammered. The futures markets, equities, and looks like cryptos and everything. It's a bloodbath out there, folks. I actually was suspecting I was going to have to tell you to buy the frickin' dip today, but it looks like there's no dip buying as far as gold. Opportunity existed overnight, but who trades on overnight markets? You can't buy physical on overnight markets, so that's why I don't like those most of them are nonsense. And anyways, not going to go there right now. Again, silver back up above that 28 range. Platinum, look at that, 1189 to 1227. I mean, platinum, you've been making some pretty big extremes there. And palladium, who cares? But take a look at these markets here. I mean, I'm really surprised. I thought we were going to see a down day with everything else down, but we haven't. And as I told you, I believe that when equities market, if we pull a 2008 financial crisis again, which I can see happening, I don't know how it's going to turn out. But as I said in a video last week, we'll see a market crash, gold, silver, and precious metals. We'll see everything crash across the board. But I don't think that's happening today. I don't think the whole market's crashing today. But surprisingly, crypto markets get really hammered. And again, equity markets are going to get hammered today. Let's take a look at some news here. Zero Hedge and a few other things. Like this article, I forget where I found it, on Gold Hub, Gold blog. Gold can benefit from heightened levels of savings. And before I go to this article, we'll talk about ZH, and we're going to talk about gata.org. Not much to talk about there, actually. None of the articles have been updated. Go over yesterday's video and some comments, and talk about what the best deals of the day are out there. Not too much in gold and silver news, other than the fact that, man, we're really up today quite a bit. But this was kind of interesting. A recent FT article highlighted research from Moody's, which estimated that global households have saved an extra $5.4 trillion since the start of the COVID pandemic. And this is kind of interesting because that is not what the governments had planned. This is not what the Fed and the U.S. government had planned. They were hoping that as soon as people got that money in their hand, they would go out and start spending it. And that doesn't seem to be happening per se. Actually, they're paying off debt and they're saving. So, maybe Americans across the board are getting smarter. I hope so. The article goes on to say that it could pave the way for a strong rebound in consumer spending, boosting the economic recovery. Again, look how they talk about consumer spending and economic recovery. They're not concerned with you saving money. They're not concerned with you building or preserving your wealth. All they want you to do is spend your money to boost taxes. You know what taxes are? The more you buy and the more people work to make those products, and the less you save. Again, consumerism equals taxes. And this is what they really wanted, increased taxes. And they may not get it, so they may have to steal it from you in some other ways, probably. And more than likely, that's going to happen over the next few years. Since the start of the year, the economic optimism has been on the rise. Stock markets have continued to rally, and yields have risen as investors switch their attention to potential inflationary pressures that come with economic expansion. Much of this is thanks to unprecedented levels of monetary and fiscal stimulus from governments across the globe. Against this backdrop, gold has struggled, and some might think that a wave of consumer spending propelling economic growth higher can only be negative for an asset considered a hedge against financial turmoil, but not true. But while risk and uncertainty may be lower, the potential impact on gold is a little more nuanced than some investors might realize. So how might this increased stock of savings impact gold? Well, for this, we can look to gold's dual nature, both as an investment and a consumer good. And what they're talking about, well, he's talking about consumer goods, gold's dual nature, multi-natured, as jewelry, as you see, 34% here. Half of that's probably investment disguised as jewelry. Again, remember, people from India, people from Asia, they don't typically buy gold bullion. They probably are the newer generations, but the older generations didn't buy gold bars, gold bullion coins. They bought jewelry, low premium jewelry. That's how they saved their gold. So I'd say half of this is actually investment type jewelry. Jewelry and investment type gold. Technology 7%, investment 42%, and central banks 17%. Now here's the key thing that I wanted to look at here. It's odd that central bankers really don't put gold on the radar at all. Major media doesn't talk about it. Economists don't talk about it. And in fact, a lot of modern economists talk about it as an archaic relic. But again, as I always like to point out, why do central banks covet it, and why are they increasing their gold supply if they don't think it's real money and they think it's an archaic thing? Why? Because they've been lying to you, and the people they've been lying to are too stupid to figure this out. So, if the smartest, richest, well, let's not call them the smartest people at central banks, because well, hold on, I will have to give them credit. The fact that they've been able to keep this Ponzi scheme of fiat currency up for as long as they have, yeah, these people are quite brilliant. I was about to call them stupid, but not really. Again, the fact that they've been able to keep this Jenga game, the Jenga tower, still up and not collapsed, yeah, they're a lot brighter than people give them credit for. They're just stuck with a broken system that was never going to work to begin with. But the fact that central banks have lasted this long, man, they are smart. They're smarter than we think they are. But again, what are they backing their paper with? They're backing it with gold, folks. Think about that for a second. Good article here. If you get a chance, it's really a short read. It's called Gold Hub Blog. Gold can benefit from higher level of savings. Let's move into ZH real quick. I'm going to go over the headlines. There's a few articles that I picked out here to take a look at. But it looks like cryptos are really the word of the day, or the news of the day. Cryptos absolutely hammered across the board. They've been getting hammered for days. And I expected this, and I'm not anti-crypto. Again, for anybody that's a first-time listener here, you'll know, and people that have been listening to me, I'm not anti-crypto at all. In fact, I'm a pro-capitalist. So if you're making money in cryptos, I want to know how you're doing it. But no less, if you're making money and you know that market, fine. But I have pretty much seen the writing on the wall when it comes to cryptos. And one of the things I've been saying, which this article, China cracks down on crypto, wipes out $1 trillion in wealth as Ether crashes 40%, Bitcoin below 35K. I've been saying this for quite some time, and again, you get accused when you point out negative things about any market or any political thing or anything like that. You're accused of being, the other side. You're accused of being a hater or something like that. It's good to point out negative things about investments. It's good to point out negative things about your government. It's good to point out negative things about, that's good stuff. As long as you don't dwell on it and focus on it all the time, it's good to point that stuff out. And I've been pointing out for quite some time, and I've said this over and over, and some of you probably are sick of hearing it, but I've said over and over that governments and bankers hate competition. Cryptos were a potential competition as far as the against money, against investments, and how long were they going to let that happen? China cracked down on cryptos, wipes out $1 trillion. That's huge, folks. I think the cryptos will recover from this, but it'll be a while. I'm not quite sure the enthusiasm is going to be there as much as possible. I pretty much figured that. I like to hear that, like my nephew bought Dogecoin, and he didn't have much money invested. Next thing you know, he's up to $5,000. I was like, really? And I told him last week, I said, I don't want to give his name, but I told him last week, I said, why don't you take some of that $5,000, put half of it in gold, and keep, I'm going to let it ride. Well, I guess you know what happened. as I said, the nice thing about gold, and one of the things that I've been trying to tell people that have made a lot of money in cryptos, is pull some of that money out. It's very speculative. You know, it's so new, it's jumping up and down so fast. Take some of that money out that you made and preserve it. Well, what's the best way to preserve wealth? Gold and silver. It's a great wealth preservation. So that's what I told my nephew. Take some of that out and preserve some of it. Well, I know he didn't buy any gold because he would have bought it from me, but hopefully he kind of backed out of his position and took some of his profit there. No less, China cracks down, and I expected this. China did crack down earlier, but they kind of lightened up a little bit. Now they're really cracking down. I think they want to implement their own Chinese version of cryptocurrencies, and they're going to make cryptos highly illegal across the board, and again, introduce their own electronic yuan, or whatever you want to call it, yuan or whatever, similar to what the U.S. Government wants to do, or the Fed wants to do at some point. They're going to pull out the U.S. e-coin, or whatever, U.S. dollar e-coin. I don't know what they're going to call it. I guess there's a name for it already, the Fed coin or something. But as I said, governments and the bankers hate competitions, and they're the ones that make the rules, they write the laws. And do you really think they're going to let a private crypto, or an unregulated, or not an unregulated, but something they don't have their mitts on, get anywhere further than where they are at? I don't know if I made sense with that, but no less, I didn't see it lasting long. A couple articles on here. This is real interesting, and I don't want to say it out loud, but I kind of somewhat almost could believe that to some degree. Coinbase and Binance users report outages as cryptos crash. I guess that's to be expected as well. The system is probably not handled or not like the equity system, where they're able to handle such a large volume of orders and stuff like that. So everything is crashing. Stocks, bonds, cryptos, commodities, all tumble across the board, except what's not crashed across the board? Gold and silver. We'll take a look at gold. Pretty impressive. Let's do a quick update here, and let's see in the last few minutes if we're still up here a little bit. I'm more curious. Wow, we're going to hit that 1890 mark. Silver is back to where it was yesterday. And platinum, still a good buy. All these metals are still a good buy here, in my opinion. But everything, the precious metals is up. Cryptos are down. Stock market's down. Equities are down. Everything pretty much across the board is down. The dollar's down. And we're looking pretty today, folks. Let me move along to this article over here. Here's the China crackdown on crypto, wipes 1 trillion in wealth. Things escalated a little more than we first wrote this morning. Ethereum is the biggest loser, crashing below 2,000, down 40% on the day. That's huge, folks, 40%. You will never see gold or silver crash 40% in a day, ever, ever. It's never happened in our lifetime. You'll never see it happen. And again, that's the stability of precious metals. And again, that's the maturity of metals that's been around for 5,000 years. Doesn't look good. It looks like the crypto markets get completely battered today. Gold is bid again as Bitcoin is battered, as JPM notes that institutional investors appear to be shifting away from Bitcoin and back into traditional gold, reversing the trend of the previous 2 quarters. It is not clear what is driving this shift. Perhaps institutional investors are fleeing Bitcoin as they see its previous 2 quarters untrending and uptrend, ending this, and thus seeking the stability of traditional gold away from downshifting of digital gold. Boy, that was so confusing. I'm sorry. Or they perhaps view the current Bitcoin price as too high relative to gold, and thus do the opposite of what they did in the previous 2 quarters. Well, I'm not quite sure about that. I think that the crypto folks are probably a lot of younger folks and people that didn't know how to trade this crypto game, all the new folks in it, all the people that thought they were going to get rich quick. And as I've been warning, if you don't know how a market's played, you don't know who the players are, and you don't know who the manipulators are, chances are you probably shouldn't get into it. And I think that's exactly what we're seeing. We're going to see a lot of people that bought cryptos because their nephew told them to, or their friend got rich off it, or this or that, are going to be very disappointed they're already disappointed in a big way, and they're probably in shock, especially if they invested any kind of substantial money into cryptos. And again, why? Because they don't know how the game is played. And if you don't know how the game is rigged, then you're probably not going to win. And of course, with gold and silver and precious metals and equity markets and elections and everything, they're all rigged. But if you know how the game is rigged, you can win. And we know how precious metals are rigged, and we know exactly where it's going and what we're doing, and that's why we're going to win with them. No less, wow, cryptos are just getting kind of wiped out right now, and I feel for the folks that got into it. But again, a fool and their money, the old saying, part soon. Everything is crashing, stocks, bonds, cryptos, commodities all tumble. Well, this is kind of redundant, so I'm not going to go into this. Let's see what happens at the end of the day. The coin actually showed a bull this morning, and I think that before I refreshed the screen, I said, well, that one's going to be wrong. It looks like it's starting out as a bear day because of the morning time, but when I just refreshed the screen and saw it up, looks like the coin is going to be on the mark today. And I would have been wrong because I would have guessed a down day for sure. Let's take a look at gata.org. No new news on here that I'm going to talk about. Of course, if there was anything here new or I felt that I needed to discuss here and you haven't read already, well, even if you read it already, I would go over it. But no less for you new viewers out there, what I just told you about, if you know how the game is rigged, you can win. gata.org. If you have any site bookmarked, this should be bookmarked at the top of your bar. Because again, these guys are going to tell you who the players are. You're going to read about who the players are, how they rig the game, and why, and all those kind of cool answers. And that'll help you become a much better player at the table. Well, let's go into yesterday's video and talk about Bitcoin troubles, gold and silver doubles. Well, what I was talking about yesterday was the Bitcoin troubles that we saw for the past week. And again, I've said it like a broken record. Governments and banks hate competition. So at some point they're going to step in. Well, guess what China did today? So no, and I don't have a crystal ball. It's just common sense that told me that. So I knew it was going to happen. It's just people. And when I brought it up, people that would call me a crypto hater. Oh, you must hate crypto if you're saying that. No, man, I don't hate crypto. I just, I'm in based on reality when it comes to this stuff. This is my money. I need to be based on reality, not on hype, not on what I hope happens. I got to be based on it's got to be reality based. And the reality base of cryptos, again, governments and banks hate competition. That was the primary thing I've been saying for the last year or two. Let's take a look at questions from yesterday, and not too much. Not too many questions out there. Kind of, I guess my video was pretty self-explanatory. A lot of people saying. Mark Peter says, "Do you see price dropping down before they take off?" I'm asking about silver and gold. I only think they will because government wants them pushed down and try to keep the dollar stronger. Well, there is some. If you're reading gata.org, Mark, you'll notice that. GATA feels the same way, that the government actually is interested and invested, and central banks are invested in keeping the price of gold down because it's a bellwether. It's a sign of a bad economy. So if they allowed gold prices just to shoot up dramatically, it looks bad for the dollar. It looks bad for the economy. So yeah, they do batter prices down. But I think they've kind of lost control of this thing right now. And they may be able to batter it down like they have for the last year or two temporarily for a short period of time. But we are in a full-blown bull market right now. And bull markets in precious metals, if you look at our last bull market, it went first bull market in precious metals when Nixon took us off the gold standard, 1972. You saw the gold standard. Basically, the gold price took off from the 1970 up until 1980. That was a 10-year market. Now, most people didn't recognize it because most people think of markets like cryptos. You double overnight. That's the get-rich-quick mentality of most Americans and most people across the world anyway. But gold and silver bull markets are way different. They usually run long-term, and they're choppy along the way. Our first gold bull market that I remember, gold and silver market, was 1970 to 1980, or basically 81. Stopped there, recontinued, where 80, 90, 2000, recontinued again in 2001. In between that 80 and 2000 period, there's 20 years where metals really didn't do much of anything. Then all of a sudden it took off again in 2000, and the apex of that market was 2011. Oddly enough, I have a feeling we didn't have to wait for another 20-year or 10-year cycle for precious metals to take off again. I think just because of the sheer issues we've had with 2008 and the financial crisis and the fact that they never fixed anything, all they did was band-aid everything up. So they took a broken dam that was springing leaks everywhere, and they just stuck bandages on it, hoping that the bandages would hold. Now they're going to just all burst. But anyway, we are since 2016, we have been in a bull market for gold and silver again. That bull market didn't wait 20 years; it waited 5 years before it heated up. So we're in another big up market now. And in the big picture, I think 2012, and this one, it would be like a double top or something like that on the charts. But yeah, we're heading into stratospheric territory at some point, I think, with precious metals. Sorry, boy, I went long-winded. Sorry about that, Mark. Thank Butterbean for great video. And Michael Matthews asked me, how do you price gold nuggets and unrefined? Is there a formula to follow? I can tell you what I know about gold nuggets is that, typically, the larger the nugget, the higher the premium. Of course, nuggets you can probably buy in a couple grams or something like that and pay no more than 25% premium for it. But believe it or not, people collect nuggets, so there is a small premium on them. I wouldn't recommend to buy them as a gold investment, just as something. I mean, they'll go up with the price of gold, but stick with bullion items. Don't buy these strange esoteric products where you have to worry about refining or someone has to know what carat it is. But gold nuggets are fun to collect. As an investment, no, stick with your bars and coins. Bob Howard says 100%, 100 ounce, 90% would stop buying. Confused me a little bit there, Bob. If you would clarify that statement, I'll try to answer it. D-Man says, let's all double his listener, go to the other site. All right, I appreciate that, D-Man. Hopefully they can all be local people that can come spend money in my store, but no less, I really appreciate getting out there. I think educating people and helping them become better buyers helps everyone, myself included, obviously. Gladly Putin. I think this is a troll. Nice video, very engaging. Being a bit, nevertheless, business investments are easy way to make money, irrespective of which party makes it official in the overs. This looks like one of those crypto ads. Now, Gladly Putin, if it's not, I do apologize, but it looks like a crypto ad someone forgot to finish. Well, listen, thanks for watching yesterday's video, Bitcoin troubles, gold and silver doubles. Appreciate all the watchers, and I appreciate everyone hits that like button. Boy, that helps me a lot, I guess, get my word out there and help people become better buyers. And also, if we help create better buyers out there, that means there will be more buyers out there buying, which is good for us, you and I listening. More buyers just means the price is going to keep going up. So keep sharing my videos. I do appreciate that. I think it'll create more buyers for us, more smarter buyers at least. And make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. Well, let's take a look at what the best deals of today are. Wednesday, what are the best deals out there? It's still, I sound like a broken record, but if you're new to this show, the best deals are not gold eagles or not gold maple leafs. The best deals in gold are any of the gold coins that on this page or gold bars that you can pay no more than a $100 premium for. And we've actually got gold bars for sale here, starting in very small quantities at spot plus $85. So that's way better deal than the gold eagles that you see on this page right here. I think those are gold eagles. No, those are gold eagles. Those are like 170, 180 over spot. That's ridiculous, folks. You should not be buying gold eagles for 170, $180, even 150 over spot if you could find them at that price. When you can go out and you can buy gold bars and Krugerrands for $100 or less per ounce. And again, I think Krugerrands a little bit more, but gold bars are available by Swiss Mint. We have Valcombe Swiss Mint bars. We also have Perth bars and Australian gold bars, and you can buy them for a good price. It's a way better deal in my opinion. The bars that are looking like this. As far as silver goes, the best deals out there are still silver bars, 1 ounce, 10 ounce, and 100 ounce silver bars. 90%'s gotten a little pricey, so I haven't been recommending 90% if you've noticed for quite some time. So my suggestion is stick with 1 ounce, 10 ounce, and 100 ounce silver bars. 100 ounce is pretty easy for us to get. 1s and 10s are a little tougher, but again, if you're not paying more than a $5 per ounce premium, I would stick with that. Silver Eagles at $9 to $12 over spot are absolutely ludicrous. That's a crazy price to pay for Silver Eagles. Don't do it, folks. It's a big mistake. You're overpaying. Meanwhile, if you watch my video from a few days ago, I told you to sell your Silver Eagles and trade them in for generics. I actually had a few people come in and do that. Michael, for example, said I could use his name, customer of mine, came in and traded me, what was it, 140 silver eagles, and he walked out with 151 ounces of silver, generic silver. So he walked in with 140 ounces, and he walked out with 11 more ounces of silver. How'd he do? I think he did much better if you ask me. But not a lot of people took me up on it. I was rather surprised. People were just in love with their Silver Eagles. I like Silver Eagles. I love them, but I'm not in love with... I'm more in love with you, with the idea of you making more money. Okay, that's what I'm in love with. I'd rather have you make more money. That's why I made that. That's why I was advising people to make that trade. You will make more money doing that. And I did notice some comments, people saying, "Well, Silver Eagles will always bring more money." No, that's bullshit. They're not always going to bring more money. It's supply and demand. The only reason Silver Eagles or premiums are so high is because the demand is so high. When you get a market that starts flying and everyone starts selling, the demand just goes away. There goes your Silver Eagle premium right in the shitter. You're never going to get it back. So what I told you to do earlier this week was a great idea. And if anybody wants to debate me on it, hey, make a comment down there and I'd be happy to do it. That's really about it. As I said, I am a local brick and mortar store. We only deal with local customers. I don't do any online sales, no mailing or anything like that. So unless you live in my area and you can physically come in to deal with me face to face, I'm sorry I can't deal with you. I wish I could. However, I know these videos go out to people all across the United States, and if you're watching it, I encourage you to buy local. I advertise locally to beat the three big ones, JM, SD Bullion, and APMEX, because I can beat them. They're good companies and everything, but it's easy for me to beat their prices. And I notice a lot of customers, especially the younger guys, are coming in with their cell phones in their hand. Well, APMEX has it for this price. So, instead of them even saying that, what I started doing, every day I go and I look and see what the three big guys are selling their bullion for, and then I undercut their prices. So if I can do that, your local dealer should be able to do that. And again, nothing wrong with those companies, but I'm big about keeping the money local. Now, if you live in the same state as APMEX, hey, why not spend it there, because the money will stay in your state. But I'm big on trying to keep it in your city, in your county, and then if you have to find a local dealer that's outside your city or county, do it. Keep that money in your state at the very least. In these times, I think it's real important to buy local, spend it here, and keep it here, and keep that money circulating in your community. Again, especially in these times. Well, I'd like to thank everybody for watching. Please hit that subscribe button and the like button again. I'd appreciate that. This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. Call me anytime at 954-493-8811 between the hours of 10 and 4, Mondays through Fridays. Happy to help you out with what the best deal of the day is or any other questions you may have. Again, thanks for watching. Let's see what happens. We could break that 1900 mark on gold today. I'm really hoping for it. Talk to you later. Have yourself a great day, and bye now.